My name is Christina. I had a really horrible experience with Dr. Brian Jones at Wapato Toppenish Clinic. I would highly recommend nobody taking their animal there. If you do care about your pet, take them somewhere else where the doctor and everybody actually cares about your pet because they don't, and you're running the risk of your pet maybe not coming back to you. Well, I took my dog to get her ears cropped and her tail docked on, I believe it was May 22nd. Um, the whole thing has been a nightmare. Basically, the clinic, it's 3 hours away from my house. That's number one. I had to take time off of work, of course, to accommodate this, and I had to book a hotel room. The clinic tried to cancel on me the day of the surgery, basically. And when I explained to them that, I took time off work and whatnot, they very begrudgingly agreed to do the surgery. Well, when I got there, the place is very disheveled. It's really dirty for a clinic, and that should have probably been a red flag for me. But I really got this guy off of a good recommendation that he was really good with ear croppings and tail dockings. Well, I picked my dog. Well, I dropped her off on Friday, and then I picked her up on Saturday. By Sunday, her ears were so infected that the bandaging was basically coming apart and coming off. And I didn't know because I've never had a dog get their ears cropped or anything before. And the only kind of paperwork, like discharge paperwork that the clinic gave me, basically said that there was going to be a smell coming from the incision site and to just go ahead and ignore that. So I kind of just ignored the smell, but it was so bad that, like, if my dog was in a room and you didn't see her, you could smell it. It was that bad. So I ended up rushing her to an emergency vet in my area on Memorial Day, and they said that every single incision site that she had, all of her ears, her tail, everything was incredibly infected, and she could have died from it. Um, so basically, I mean, we had to pay about 2 grand out of pocket to fix what this guy did to my dog. They had to open up all of the stitches and stuff that he did, and they had to flush out the wounds and stuff because they were so infected. And those are the pictures that I posted, how red her ears were. I'm not sure if you saw that, but that was that day. They wanted to get picture evidence just in case I needed it for later and show me how bad it was because I didn't know they were wrapped up, so I couldn't see it. Um, and so basically, the following Tuesday, I called the vet that did her surgery to just inform him that, everything had become infected. And I understand that sometimes things happen with surgeries and whatnot, and different people and animals can react differently to different stuff. I get that. Well, when I tried to contact him to let him know, and I wanted to show him the photos and show him the reports that I got from the emergency vet, he basically became very combative with me and said that the doctor here didn't know what he was talking about, which, if you saw the photo, you don't have to be a medical professional to see that it's incredibly infected. Um, and he said that the vet didn't know what he was talking about, and that people around here don't know what they're talking about because they don't deal with ear croppings, and that they were giving me the wrong information, and then proceeded to tell me that I should be grateful because him and his staff bent over backwards to help me, which I don't see how they did. They basically were just told to keep an appointment that was made weeks prior. And then basically he told me that he knew that I was going to be a problem, and then he hung up on me like a child. So that's been my whole experience with these people. I've had to take her to the emergency vet clinic. I've had to take her to my regular vet clinic a couple times just so they can continuously check up on her ears and make sure that they're doing okay and that the infection is okay. And then I've also had to take her to a specialist to help with the ears because at this point they're now drooping downwards instead of being up how they're supposed to be. So, I mean, we've had to pay over $2,000 just to fix what this guy has done to my dog.
And after this case, did you try to leave some other comments on their official site, on some other websites, yet to inform them about what they did?
Well, I went to the Better Business Bureau, and they said that this isn't something that they deal with, and it's not something that they can help me with. I reached out to numerous lawyers in the area, and most lawyers don't practice in animal law, so none of them have really been able to help me. I found somebody that's kind of reviewing my case right now. I don't know if she's going to be able to help me or not. But the only lawyer in the area that actually does animal law, he refused to take my case because he said he didn't agree with the fact that I quote unquote mutilated my dog in the first place. So, I mean, that's about the extent of what I've done. I haven't left any reviews on their website because they don't have one. um, yeah, we've tried to reach out. The specialist that's helping to fix her ears, they've been reaching out to them, trying to get the actual medical records from them to see like what they did. And I personally don't believe that they have them because we asked a couple times. The girl called again yesterday to ask if they could send over the information, and they said that they don't have internet, so they couldn't email it, but that they would fax it. And they still haven't faxed the information. So I believe that either they're forging the information or they just don't have it. Because if they did, they would have sent it yesterday. So,
What solution are you looking for?
at this point, I really just want him to be held accountable for the negligence that my dog has had to suffer through. I mean, she's been through a lot in the last couple of weeks. And, initially I wanted him to reimburse me for the surgery or help pay for the medical expenses that we've incurred based on his negligence. But at this point, I really just want him to be held accountable for the situation. Um, from the conversation that I had with him, he wants no parts of it, doesn't really care. And it's troubling to me that you work with people's animals and you just don't care. They're parts of our family, and for you to treat them like they're just a computer or a cell phone and you can throw it away and get another one, that's a little disturbing to me. And yeah, I just feel like he should be held accountable at this point.
Do you have some message to other customers that may use their services in the future?
Absolutely, don't 100% don't go somewhere else. The place is completely dirty. It smells like piss as soon as you walk in there. A lot of their staff doesn't seem to know what they're doing. The doctor goes from room to room to room to room, dealing with multiple animals at the same time. It's incredibly unprofessional. It's unhygienic for a human, let alone an animal. Don't like just don't avoid this place at all costs. They're a little cheaper than most veterinary clinics, but it's not worth the price. Your animal could die, and they just don't care blatantly. Just avoid this place at all costs.